more Tapped Out with Brendan Tobin and Sean Levine on the BetQL Network.
Hopefully you're enjoying your Saturday night wherever you're checking us out along the BetQL Network with Brendan Tobin. I am the sports machine, Sean Levine, and we went and saved the best for last. Final segment, we welcome on Big Marcel. Marcel Dorff joins us here on Tapped Out. So last Saturday night, Big Marcel, I had some money down on Tom Aspinall. I said it would be done in one, and then I was like, you know what? Screw it. It'll be done in 60 seconds, and it was. How good is Tom Aspinall? And at this point, are we getting close to, if he fought John Jones, maybe Aspinall could actually beat the GOAT?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me again, as always. I mean, I don't know. I think he got the chance, but who doesn't want to see that fight? You know, I mean, it's the fight to make. It's literally like the champion against the interim champion. You know, it's like, why not? You know, I think if for example, I asked like 2,000 people, MMA fans, what do you want to see? John Jones fighting Stipe right now, or John Jones fighting Aspinall? Now, maybe two people will say John Jones versus Stipe because they didn't really follow the sport as well. But you know what I mean? It's like, listen, man, I was all for Jones against Stipe, but that was a fun fight 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We were like discussing this earlier, Marcel. It's like Stipe hasn't fought in forever, and it's like that's almost a whole new generation of fans. It's like a pandemic ago of people when the last time we saw Stipe back in action. So it's like I don't know how many guys actually like know heavyweight GOAT. This is a big deal, and it's not like Stipe is the biggest seller of fights either.
No, listen, man, and all respect to Stipe, right? I mean, he did great what he did, you know, but it's been so long. I think it's been like 4 years ago since he won a lot for the last time, and 3 years ago since we saw him last time in the octagon. So, and I think he doesn't have a win over an active UFC heavyweight right now since Arlovsky left the company. So it's like, yeah, it's for me. It's just weird that Dana keeps holding on to that fight. Like, oh my God, we absolutely have to see that. I'm like, this fight would have been interesting when John Jones was actually supposed to fight going to heavyweight when DC actually did it. Then it was much more intriguing to me, you know. Now it's like, yeah, you know, it's like, what Stipe do we get? You know, and if they fight in November in MSG, what Stipe do we get? Do we still get the Stipe who is like competitive, or do we get the Stipe who is like old and actually not the Stipe anymore that we supposed to get? You know, so yeah, I don't know, man.
I actually have the same questions about John Jones. Like, yeah, okay, he was awesome. We saw him last time. That was 2-something years ago against Cyril Gahn, and the fight lasted a minute or a couple of minutes. So, like, I'm with you. And most of the time, at least in the UFC, credit to Dana White, we don't usually have to talk about this, Marcel. Boxing, it's all the time. We were just having this conversation. Why doesn't Canelo fight Terrence Crawford? How come it took so long for Pacquiao to fight Floyd Mayweather? Most of the time, this isn't an issue, but I'm with you. At this point, let's just move on and let Aspinall fight John Jones. That's when we want to see. The next pay-per-view is definitely one that we all want to see. That is Israel Adesanya versus Dracus du Plessis. What's your early lead in that fight?
Oh man, it's also very difficult, man. If you look at Adesanya, he hasn't fought for a year. You know, he took some time off. Yeah, he clearly lost to Sean Strickland. I think he only won the second round. All the other rounds were Sean's. Now he comes back, and if you look at Dricus, I think I gotta give Dricus credit, man. Before he fought Whitaker, I was like, he's a fun fighter, but I don't really see a champion in him, you know. And he looked so good against Whitaker, and he had that nose surgery before that fight. And you saw against Strickland, yeah, he was gassing just like Strickland at a certain moment, you know, in the fight, but it was not as bad as in other fights, you know. And I thought he won 3-2 to Strickland. I know many people disagree with me. I'm not biased at all, by the way. I don't mind, you know. I think Sean deserved a rematch, to be honest, you know, but they gave it to Adesanya, and obviously, you know, the UFC pretty much effed themselves over, you know, with the Adesanya Strickland fight, because they wanted to have the Adesanya du Plessis fight, actually. And they thought, like, if we put Strickland there and Adesanya beats him, we still can do that fight. And then, yeah, the complete plans went out of the window. And now they got a second chance to put that fight on. So obviously they will do it. And yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, it's an intriguing fight. As crazy as it sounds, I kind of lean like to Duplessis, man, still. I think Adesanya is amazing. His technique is great, but Adesanya is getting older as well at the same time, and I wasn't really like, besides that Pereira fight where he knocked him out, and that was like that. I see that as a separate fight, it's like, Adesanya Pereira is like a separate thing. They really didn't like each other, but besides those fights, if you look at Adesanya's last fights, he won them, but it was not like, oh my God, this is must-see TV. You know what I mean? So maybe Duplessis gets a fire into him. We never know. We'll see. But I don't know, man. I would lean Duplessis at this moment, but I'm not sure.
You were saying the same thing, BT. That's crazy. You were saying the exact same thing like 10 minutes ago about Izzy. Like, if he's got the real bad blood, but if not, then he just kind of goes through the motions.
Yeah, I also am worried about him being sneaky old, like Marcel said. I was like, man, he is kind of getting up there. Like, you never know how many fights is too many fights, because the dude was super active as a champion. So you always have to wonder about that. Turning it back to tonight, Marcel, main event, Umar Nurmagomedov gets the win over Corey Sandhagen. Really good performance from Umar. I mean, to jump right into a main event and beat number 2 in the world pretty handily. What did you make of Umar, and what do you like as his chances of being champ of this stacked division?
Yeah, I think it was a good performance. I think it was competitive, man. I mean, the first rounds were pretty competitive. I think Umar kind of made the difference with those back takes against Corey. Besides that, I thought it was really competitive with the leg kicks and stuff. At the same time, I think Umar, which surprised me, was that Umar was more fit, in my opinion, in the round 4s and round 5 than Corey was, man. I had the feeling like Corey was gassing more than Umar was, And if you look at this last fight against Baksat Almakan, he was absolutely broke after the 3rd round, And this time he still had that thing going, and I think he did perfect, man. I mean, nobody comes in and easily beats Corey Sandhagen besides Aljamain Sterling that one time, But I mean, everybody has a bad day at the office, but nobody easily beats Sandhagen. He didn't do it easily. I don't want to say that, but he did it convincingly. I think he really showed the people that he is one of the top fighters in the division. To answer your question about how he will match up against Dvalishvili and O'Malley, I think if he can listen, man, I think Sandhagen has a better defensive wrestling game than O'Malley has. At the same time, I think O'Malley has more knockout power, or has more,
True.
how do you say that? More, yeah. Dvalishvili, the thing with Dvalishvili is always like he got the record of most takedowns, but that also means that you cannot keep the fighter on the ground at the same time. You know what I mean? I think if Umar gets him to the ground, he might be able to keep him on the ground, So I think he matches up with them both very good, And yeah, at the same time, I still want to see Sandhagen against O'Malley, because I think that's an amazing fight, but that's not going to happen for now. But yeah, I think he matches up great with these guys, And I think he deserves a shot. This is a big win, man. I mean, who beat Sandhagen in the UFC? It's Sterling, it's Piotr Jan in the interim title fight, and then it's TJ, which I thought Sandhagen actually won, but hey, whatever. Who am I? But those were the guys who beat Sandhagen. So yeah,
that's why I bet on him earlier today at plus 275 odds, but I lost my money. Is what it is. At Big Marcel 24, if you want to follow our guy Marcel Dorff here, chatting this up with us on the BetQL network. Who do you like in that fight, by the way, Merab versus O'Malley? Because last time I saw Merab was actually a slight favorite.
It's so difficult, man, and we probably will know after one round, because can Merab keep Sean down? That's pretty much it, because I think Sean is a level above Merab in the striking, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it pretty much depends. Listen, last time when O'Malley fought against Sterling, I was sure Sterling would out-grapple him, he didn't do that. Then he fought Vera. I was pretty sure O'Malley was going to win that fight, which he did. This one is a little bit more difficult. What's Dvalishvili's game plan? We obviously know what Sean's game plan is. It's striking and keep the fight standing. And for Merab, I think normally it's going for takedowns. But Merab's kind of crazy sometimes, and he loves to strike with people as well, while he can go for a takedown. If he's going to strike with O'Malley, I think he is effed, I should say. But yeah. That's what I think, but it's pretty close, man. I mean, it's a how do you say that? It's a battle of styles, I think.
I did like the I'm sure you saw it, Marcel. Like, did you see the standoff this week with them and Alexa Grasso in the background? That was hilarious, bro. That was but you're right. Like, he is a crazy person. You know what to do. Another crazy person. He is He is Max Holloway. He just, he'll win a fight, but, it's not good enough. You got to point to the center of the octagon and get a knockout. Him and Topuria is now official. What do you like in that one, man?
Man, I've been like on the Ilya Topuria hype train since I saw him fight in Cage Warriors. I've been to a live fight of his. He was on the card against a Belgian guy. It was in Belgium. And he was like undefeated as well, obviously, back then, And I was like, oh, they fought an undefeated guy to feed to this Belgian to get the win, the title at home, And Ilya submitted him within 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. I think with an anaconda choke. He didn't make weight, so he didn't get the title. He only fought once for Cage Warriors. Then he went to Brave, went to the UFC, obviously. But the dude is so good, man. And the thing is, like, back in the day, he was just like a grappler. It was a really good submission game he had. But now he also got hands. He got the striking as well. The thing with Holloway is, man, Holloway can make it exciting with everybody. He is amazing. I love Max. Who doesn't love Max Holloway? Probably Gaethje doesn't after his last fight. But, I mean, everybody loves Max. Yeah, everybody loves Max Holloway, man. I mean, he's an amazing fighter. At the same time, I think Ilya has to use. I think Ilya is improving every single time we see him. And I'm really, like, big on Ilya, man. The thing is, like, Ilya says he's going to knock out Max Holloway. I don't know, man. But, hey, how many people would have guessed that he said he was going to knock out Volkanovski, and he did. So, same time, Max has a little bit of a better chin, I think, than Volkanovski. At the same time, I cannot wait for that fight, man. I'm so happy that got booked.
Right?
It's an amazing one.
Yeah, the Gaethje family, not the biggest blessed fans, but the rest of us all love us some Max Holloway. Everybody loves Marcel Dorff. You can follow him at Big Marcel 24. That's it for the show. 2 hours flew by. For Jake Noecker and Brendan Tobin, I'm the sports machine, Sean Levine. We got boxing tonight. Don't forget, it's a good card. We got some Terrence Crawford action, Andy Ruiz, Isaac Cruz. We're watching some boxing tonight. UFC already went down. Enjoy the fights tonight. Let's make some money. It's Tapped Out right here on the BetQL Network. Good night.